No? Yeah, you can hear me. Thank you. Hi everyone, my name is Igor. Thank you for coming to this presentation. And actually today I would like to discuss with you e-commerce platform migration from on-prem to cloud. Yeah, since I am from Adobe, we will discuss mostly Magento and Adobe Commerce. This is the e-commerce system from Adobe. Yeah. However, this experience can be applicable for any other e-commerce system and any other product. So let's start. Let me start with my introduction. I am Igor. I am a senior manager in Adobe Consulting Services, and actually, I've been doing consulting for the last 10 years. I started my career in eBay. After 2 years in eBay in a product company, I moved to a Scandinavian company called Waymo. And after 5 years in Waymo, I joined Adobe. And last 5 years, I've been leading an EMEA team of technical architects and responsible for success of the delivery projects in EMEA region. Yeah, born in Ukraine, live in Netherlands last 5 years. Let me briefly guide you through the services we provide. We provide SACS, we provide a variety of services like commerce strategy services, infrastructure review, code audit, solution health check, Adobe Commerce Cloud migration, architectural advisory, project advisory, data science and analytics, business requirements consulting, and migration, upgrade, and implementation of Adobe products. If we look at these services from the technical standpoint, then the technical architect is responsible is involved to the code audit, solution health check, Adobe Commerce Cloud migration, architectural advisory, project advisory and governance, and migration, upgrade, and implementation of Adobe products. I split this presentation into 5 sections. I will start with Adobe Commerce and Adobe Commerce on Cloud overview, since I assume that some of you do not know this product. And after that, I will deep dive into the migration flow evolution, how we started, and actually how we improved the processes of migration. And after that, we review the discovery process and cutover plan. I will not review the execution part, since the most important is to make a good plan. This is discovery process, and the most important is execute this plan on production. This is cutover plan. And at the end, we will review the pitfalls we faced with, and maybe this information will be useful for your projects. So let's start with Adobe Commerce and Adobe Commerce on Cloud overview. Adobe Commerce is e-commerce platform from Adobe. It's based on Magento open source, and actually it uses the technologies like Redis for storing cache, PHP as programming language, MariaDB or MySQL for storing data, and also RabbitMQ for message queue, Nginx for web server, and Elasticsearch to make a data set and actually search in this data set. And also Adobe Commerce and Magento use Composer to pull all packages into one build. If we talk about Adobe Commerce on Cloud, this is platform as a service solution that offers you actually Magento hosting, Adobe Commerce hosting, yeah, and on top of Adobe Commerce application setup, you also get some services on top. This is New Relic for monitoring and performance management, and also Fastly if you want use cache on the edge and content delivery. Your hosting can be placed, your application can be hosted in AWS or New Relic. That's up to you. And also Adobe Commerce on Cloud offers you variety of internal tools to make a deployment and other stuff. Okay, now we can start with migration flow evolution. Yeah, a few years ago we started getting many requests for migrating Magento, I mean Adobe Commerce, from on-prem to cloud. There were a few reasons of this, mostly because of usually clients, they do not have to focus, they do not want to focus on the hosting. It's expensive, they have to pay a salary to DevOps, etc. And they would like to concentrate on features, and they would like to concentrate on application and integrations. For this reason, they started asking us, Adobe Professional Services, to migrate their instances to cloud. And we started thinking about the process. We started with team structure. We started with the following structure. This is a business solution architect or business analyst, developer to analyze, BSA to analyze requirements and features, developer to execute this migration, and actually QA to test this setup. After that, yep, that's good readability. After that, we came to this migration process. The BSA started discovery, and after that, developer could start with setting up the integration environment. Integration environment is the most basic one. Yeah, it's a development environment. And after that, after this is completed, he passes this environment to a QA. QA engineer conducts testing and pass the list of bugs to the developer. Developer investigate and fix these bugs and set up a cloud environment, a staging environment. With staging environment, the process is the same: testing, fixing, and setting up the production environment. After production environment is ready, developer is responsible to make a cutover plan, or document, practice cutover plan, and execute this cutover plan at the end with QA. And actually, as the result, we got the cheap, successful, and stressful migration. The issue was that we understood that developer could not handle the full migration process. The developer did not have the expertise to make risk analysis, yeah, and predict the problems. However, yeah, that was a successful migration, and we started getting more requests to make a migration to cloud. We started thinking how to optimize this process. And actually, the most obvious decision was to swap developer by technical architect. And we came to the same composition. However, instead of developer, we had a technical architect. And as you can notice that the list of actions is the same, yeah. However, it's executed by technical architect with more expertise in Adobe Commerce and DevOps. And as a result, we got expensive and successful migration. Why expensive? Because in consulting, rate of technical architect is much higher than a rate of developer. However, this was a good chance to refine the process and come to the final state of the migration process. We pulled the developer back. We understood that we need a limited technical architect capacity for making discovery together with business solution architect. Developer executed all actions of migration until prepare cutover plan. Yeah, developer prepared a cutover plan and passed this cutover plan to architect. Architect reviewed cutover plan and actually refined it and sent it back. And developer finalized their document, and after that, the last step, we have the full team, technical architect, developer, and QA executing the cutover plan. And this ensures that we have good planning and good execution. In between, we are confident that developer can execute everything in right order since we have a good planning. Let's review the discovery process closer. What we have in discovery process? We have business solution architect analyzing the requirements. After that, the technical architect analyze system landscape and analyze integrations. After that, we have to analyze hardware setup and analyze configuration and memory limits, analyze PHP, including exotic extensions. Yeah, you know that some clients can install exotic PHP extensions, and you've never heard about this extension, and this could cause an issue in the cloud environment. And also, we need to analyze Redis, Elasticsearch, and MySQL, the full stack. Let me provide you an example. In some cases, we faced the situation that the source Redis had 32 gigabytes memory. And actually, this discovery process and analysis is a good chance to review your application and ask yourself, why do you need 32 gigabytes in Redis? Yeah, probably that something goes wrong with your cache, or you cache a lot of data, and at the end of the day, you will face an issue with Redis bandwidth, that Redis cannot process all records in the right order. Also, after hardware setup, we analyze the cron jobs. After we analyze the cron jobs, we analyze the composer JSON, run the composer install, and ensure that there are no issues after running the composer install. After that, we analyze the core code base changes and ensure that nothing changed. And after that, we make a compilation. We compile PHP code, and we compile static content and ensure that everything is being compiled with no errors. After that, we analyze the database, we check the size, we check the tables, and we check if there are any custom triggers, and so we have to migrate everything with right owner of these triggers. After that, we need to analyze the custom VCL and ESI blocks. Yeah, if a client used varnish cache and made some customizations in ESI blocks, that means that we must to collect these changes and move these VCLs to Fastly configuration on the edge. And the last step is preparing internal report, and we provide this report to a client and ask the client to fix the issues. This was discovery, the start of the project. The last part of the project is cutover plan. And as I mentioned earlier, that cutover plan is important together with discovery, since cutover is an execution of everything we collected on production. In our case, cutover plan consists of communication part. Yeah, in communication we mentioned all names, all participants of the migration project. We mentioned the name, the title, the phone number. We have a flag if this person is part of cutover execution. Yeah, and how to reach this person. After that, we put all information about infrastructure, the information about load balancer, host names of all nodes, all IP addresses, etc. We collect full information in one document. And after that, in cutover plan, we list the preparation tasks. The preparation tasks, that's the tasks we need to complete to run, to execute the cutover. After that, we have the cutover tasks, that's actually cutover execution, right? And the last part, but the most important, is rollback. Yeah, what we do if our cutover does not run well? Yeah, how we can come back to the previous server? And we also describe, like, on the new server we disable crons, we block all connections, and we change DNS records, etc. This is just an example of our cutover. You can see on the right we have start and finish time. Yeah, how we get this time? We have the test run of cutover plan. Yeah, and when an engineer runs cutover, they would mark a start time and end time. And actually, this cutover must be executed with this time. Yeah, if it's re-indexed, it's 10 minutes or 15 minutes or 1 hour. But we should know how much time takes each operation. So I would say it's like a surgery. Yeah, tin, 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 and we execute this cutover one by one and send update. This one is executed. This one is executed. And at the end of cutover, we test and notify the stakeholders that everything is fine. All is fine. Yeah, that's all about the process, and I collected for you the major pitfalls. Yeah, we faced with. Actually, first one is verify the provision. Think about cloud region. Yeah, we noticed that some clients do not care about the hosting region, and it's on us to analyze this and recommend right region. Let me provide you an example. For example, there is an integration. This integration is in Ireland region, right? And actually, the client wants to be hosted in London region. However, this integration requires a VPN connection. This means that this integration will not work in the setup with integration in one region and application in another region, since the regions are secured, they are isolated. Yeah, and it's not possible to set up a VPN connection between them. If you have a hard dependency on integration region, you must host your application in the same region. The next one is verify infrastructure setup. We already discussed this. Please check PHP extensions, RAM, disk space, Redis memory, so you are prepared. After that, verify the code base. Yeah, before migration is started, the code should be as clean as possible. You have to check all core, changes, you must run the compile, you must compile the static content, etc. The next one is verifying the database. Actually, verifying the database causes the delay in cutover execution. Let me provide you an example. With one of the clients, we had the database of 500 gigabytes. That means that if we make a dump of this database, and if we move this database from server to server, and after that import this database, it will take a couple of hours. Yeah? And actually, preparation for migration, this is a good chance to optimize your data. After analyzing the database, we realized that they have about 400 gigabytes of log files. They stored all orders in the database. They stored all PDFs in the database, and that means that we can simply cut all this data. Yeah, and at the end of the day, we migrated to 100 gigabytes, which was much faster. And also, this is a good chance to check the not used tables. As an example, one Magento instance of Magento 1 could be migrated to Magento 2, and they had a lot of redundant tables or tables with backup postfix. It's a good chance to optimize this and cut all these redundant tables. Don't forget about custom cron jobs. Take care about rights, how to execute this. Also custom with VCLs, ESI blocks for Fastly. And the last point is about optimization of data migration. The first one is always move data from one server to another one. Avoid migrating data through developers' laptop. I know this is ridiculous, but I think most of people do this. First, this is not secure. The second one, this is ridiculous. And actually, it's much easier if you set up a connection between two servers and make this transfer. And this will be much faster since you move the data between two servers. And last point is to please scale up the source node before you make migration. Because if you scale up the source node, it will scale the bandwidth channel, it will scale CPU, etc. And as a result, you have faster packing the tarball, you have faster moving files, etc. So that's all what I wanted to tell you about the migration. If you have any questions, please find me here or reach me in the LinkedIn or Twitter. Thank you for your attention.